Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Truth Will Set You Free message podcast by me, ACJ. And the title of today's topic is The Rise and Fall of Generations. Listen, this message that I'm getting ready to go on about, it's a very powerful message from this generation to the generation of the past, which includes my generation. I'm going to give you a little summary, a little brief on myself. I'm 56 years old. I was born back in 1969. I started school in the early 70s. I finished school in high school in 1988. Now, going back to my days of my youth, we had discipline in the home. There was always two parents in the home. Us as kids, our friends, our homeboys, we had values and morals instilled in us. We had work ethics instilled in us. We had parents that didn't play the radio. We had substance in our lives. You know, we did what our parents told us to do. There wasn't no talking back. There wasn't no compromising. No, we did what we was told. We was brought up in a house where you was made to go to church, whether you wanted to or not. We had discipline. Me and all of our other homeboys and homegirls met up every Sunday, walking, cutting through the path, through somebody's yard, on the way to church. Parents always made sure we had a couple dollars to put in the offering box. You know, we feared the Lord. Even though we didn't know him at the time, we know there was a God. And we respected and knew that God didn't play. I'm going to tell you how much respect that we had for God. If we was walking somewhere going to play ball or whatever as kids or whatever, and we walking on church grounds, and we say a cuss word or something, one of your friends was quick to remind you, oh, God gonna get you. We feared punishment from God because we feared God. It's not like that anymore with today's generation of kids. They have no fear of God. Most of the kids that's come up today has never stepped foot inside of a church, never been to church. When we were kids, we had chores to do. Saturday was just like a spring cleaning day every Saturday. The boys and the girls, sisters, aunties, whoever, everybody cleaned. Everybody took care of the house. That's how we was brought up. There wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts. There wasn't no such thing as the trash running over. The trash didn't have time to run over because soon as the trash got full, it got empty. There wasn't no compromising. Our parents didn't play. Our parents was hardcore parents. They didn't play. It was do as I say, not as I do. And there wasn't no questions about it. You might talk up under your breath, that was about the extent of it or whatever, but you knew not to say nothing back. You knew not to be disrespectful, unlike the generation of today. Look at the generation of today. No respect for the parents. No respect for authority. Slack in the work ethic. Things change from back then to now. We had chores. We were made to go to work. We wasn't allowed to sleep in all day, watch TV, and play video games. No, parents weren't having that. That wasn't going to fly. We got up when the chickens and the roosters got up. When the sun rose, we got up. We had work ethic instilled in us. We knew better. Families looked out for one another back in the day. They cared for one another. They borrowed from one another. And there wasn't no shame in the game. Because parents looked out for one another. Everybody knew each other in the neighborhood. Unlike today, where neighbors don't even speak to one another. Your parents, they knew who our friends was. The good ones and the bad ones. The bad ones, they couldn't be over at the crib. They warned you about it. Stay away from him or her. That was bad. That was out there doing wrong. Parents weren't having it. And other parents looked out the same way. Other parents would tell on you. Yeah, they had that right. They had that permission back in the day. They would tell on you. I saw your son playing with this boy and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Today's generation will call that snitching. There wasn't no snitching back in the day. People cared for one another. That was true love. Look at the parenting that's going on today. We had real hardcore parents, starting with the mothers. The mothers had a strong backbone. The mothers knew how to the mothers was multitasking back then before the word multitasking became popular. Cooking, cleaning, hanging up clothes, washing clothes, all at the same time. The mama would have food on the stove, washing clothes, and hanging up clothes on the clothesline. And for this new generation don't know what a clothesline is, Google it. A clothesline was where the mom washed the clothes and hang them out to dry and let the sun dry the clothes. Using clothespins to keep them from falling on the ground and getting dirty. Mother doing all this at one time. Making sure the home was always taken care of. Food on the stove, washing, hanging up clothes, folding clothes, sweeping the house, made sure the husband, the man, ate food on the table for the kids when they got home from school or football practice or whatever type of curriculum that you was involved in as a child. School clothes ready for the kids the next morning. Lunch ready for the husband. His clothes all put together, ready to go to work the next morning. That's what the mothers did. Every now and then they might have went out and hung out with one of their gals to have a good time, to take a little stress off for the course of the week. But for the most part, a woman was a woman. She took care of the home. She was the rock. It was a hot meal every day. The woman always cooked and made sure the house was in order. Only time she didn't cook was maybe on a Friday where we ate out. We didn't have too many choices of restaurant. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. We didn't have the variety like they got now in today's culture. We didn't have Uber Eats. People dropping off food. We didn't have that. The mothers, a lot of them didn't have jobs. They was housewives. The man, the husband, brought home the check to the woman. The woman paid the bills. Light bill, gas bill, water bill, rent, whatever. Had money to buy the groceries, buy whatever school supplies or whatever needed for the kids. The woman took care of home like she's supposed to. She went in the street. She didn't mess up the money when the husband brought it home. She did right by the money. She wasn't trying to scheme the husband out of money. She used that money for purpose, not for material things. And she still, after all that, she had a little money left for herself to buy her a little something. And that's what she did. The mother stood on business. Now to the man. The man was the man in the house. He held it down. He brought home the bacon. Some of the men might have had some indiscretions going on in the street. But one thing that they did do, they made sure they took care of their home. They made sure them bills was paid. No matter what wrong they was out there doing, they made sure that home was taken care of. Them kids was taken care of. That wife was taken care of. That was a man. He stood 10 toes down. And he didn't play. No mean no. He didn't play. Parents back then, they wasn't scared of the kids. Unlike today's generation, where the parents are scared of the kids. The kids are disrespectful. They talk any type of way. Not to just their parents and grandparents, to the elders. To people who they're supposed to be learning from. The bruh this and bruh that. This is where we at now. And as the generations start to pass, the parents start to get younger. And when the parents became younger, they became loose in morals and values. They lowered their standard. They started to settle for any type of man. They brought the men in around their kids, multiple men, laying up with all type of different men to try to get money, settling for whatever pick of the litter they can choose from. Babies raising babies as the generations went on. Standards was lower. Women more for the streets. Rather be in the streets than to be at home. Don't know how to cook or burn a hot dog. Don't even know how to boil water. All the values started to fade. Then came the removal of the most important thing. The man started to leave the household by whatever choice, by force or by choice. The man started to disappear from the home. And when the head is gone from the house will eventually fall. Because there is no direction, no leadership, no guidance. The man is called by God to be the head of the household. Any other way won't work. Women, by force or by choice, had to step in and be and take the place of a man because the man just wasn't there. I commend the women on that. They had to do it, and they did. I applaud them on that. But with that came disobedient children. And a lot of that got to do with not just the man not being in the household. There was a change in law. The government stepped in and say, how the parents supposed to discipline their kids. And once the kids find out that their parents can't whoop them, they took away the rod of correction from a child. And the kids found out that the only thing they had to do was go to the school and tell their teacher or whoever, administrative person, that my parent hit me and left a mark on me or whatever. The parents going to jail. So they took the discipline away from the parents. It basically handcuffed the parents from disciplining their children because they would get in trouble. Go figure. You can't discipline your children, but when they get in trouble, they'll discipline them for you. Make it make sense. But that's where we at. From generation back then to generations now. The Bible says, withhold not correction from a child. Spare the rod, spoil the child. So when you don't discipline a child, they're going to become unruly. The Bible says foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far from him. That's scripture. So now this is why you're seeing all these young kids running around and disobedient, disrespectful, talking crazy, acting crazy. Teachers scared of them, parents scared of them. Because there's no discipline. The foundation has been broken. And once the foundation is broken, the house is going to crumble. So, if you take anything from this message, just sit back and think about this message and what I'm saying, and just take a look at what I'm saying. And you wonder why the world is in the shape that it's in now. No discipline. No morals, no standards. All out the window. And that's the difference between when I grew up back in the day, back in the early 70s, to now, 2026. It's been a great falling away. I pray that you get something out of this message. I hope that you hear this message loud and clear and have a discussion, mainly with your children, and give them understanding, give them wisdom, give them knowledge. Because without wisdom and knowledge and discernment and understanding, these latter days are going to be hard. I appreciate your time. If you like this message, hit the like button. If you like to donate to this channel, my Cash App is down below in the description box. And remember, your donation will help be a blessing to someone else. I'm looking to bless others, someone in need. I pray all is well. God bless.